Hello, my name is Jonathan Goodman, and welcome to the Online Trainer Show. Today's episode 25, and today we're talking about how to scale once you have your first 5 to 10 clients.
There you go.
There you go, Em. There you go. Thanks for listening.
I'll pause for the jingle. I'm pausing now.
Thanks for letting me know.
This is the Online Trainer Show, Trainer Show, Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.
Did we establish that there's a jingle now?
There's always been a jingle there, Jonathan. Like it happens every single episode. Do you not listen to us? Do you not take in the glory that is our podcast after
I go very far
recording?
into my way now, too.
No, you make a concerted effort not to listen to us talk.
It's hard because we're everywhere.
We are. Now that's the truth. That's the truth. We're like Visa. We're everywhere you want to be. I hope PT Distinction's okay with that one. I hope I didn't infringe upon anything. Hey, speaking of PT Distinction, because I didn't say anything about them earlier because I was confused about where I was, what day it was, and what the topic was. And of course, Carolina's magnificent hair is always so distracting. You know, I don't know how her hair is perfect every single episode.
It looks like it has some extra product in it, though. Now.
It's got an extra sheen today.
It's called Lake Water. It'll do this to my hair. I just let it be.
It's all the rage in Switzerland, John. The Lake Water hair care regimen. It's a big deal. I saw that on Queer Eye a few nights ago. I digress. PT Distinction helps you maintain and expand your client base by making sure every single person you work with gets the results that they need. PT Distinction. We've got a deal with PT Distinction. OnlineTrainer.com/PTD will give you 60 days at no cost, free 99. Head on over to OnlineTrainer.com/PTD. Claim your prize. Not to be outdone, the industry's #1 qualification for online trainers, the Online Trainer Academy. OTA, as we call it. We're all OTA graduates here. We love OTA. You know what I really like when I have a little flank steak, Jonathan? What I really like to have with it is a side order of OTA. It's not so much the flavor, it's the texture. Takes it to an otherworldly level. What's the OTA website though? I've forgotten this. OnlineTrainer.com/academy.
Nailed it.
Gosh, I'm getting so good at this. So,
well, you know what it is? You're in that awkward point where you're getting better at it, but you have a little bit more confidence than your actual skill level. Like
a bit more.
It goes from like you're not very good and you don't have that much confidence, and so you keep all the papers in front of you, right? And then you're like, yo, I got this, but you don't quite get it, so you don't have the papers. You know what I'm saying? Then you get really good at it afterwards, and you don't need the papers.
No.
But you should still have them, like a pilot. Like you should always have your checklists in front of you.
Absolutely.
If you're going to fly a plane, if you're going to run the Online Trainer Show.
That was a very good analogy, Jonathan.
Thank you.
I like to do the analogies. It's pretty good.
This is equally as important as flying a plane. We all know that. So.
It's on par with aviation, 100%. And the pay reflects it.
Absolutely.
so Keto, it's been a while. We've been on a hiatus. We've been on recording hiatus. Jonathan left us. He discarded us.
Abandoned us entirely.
Like the little fish that follow along with the shark. That's how Jonathan treats us.
Like the little fish that follows along with
with the great white shark. They feed off of his gills.
Your energy. We need your energy, Jonathan. You abandoned us.
The great white shark that is Jonathan Goodman. He's the great white shark of personal training, online training, almost specifically. Abandoned us last week, Keto. So we didn't record. Our episode. Right. So it's been a long time since we had an opportunity to communicate. So, what's going on in the field, Carolina? Anything exciting?
The best news ever is that I am here. I went on my camping trip and I did not get mauled by a bear.
Yes.
Woo! So yay for that. And it was amazing. You remember how I was so scared? I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do. It was amazing. Highly recommend. Go backcountry camping, people.
Now, for the people that don't know exactly where you went, this is very important. We bought photographs for the podcast. Here you are in the mountains. Amazing. and here you are in the lake in extreme. You guys can't see this, but listen intently. But where were you? Where were you exactly, Catalina?
It's a wonderful piece of Canadian wilderness called Algonquin Provincial Park, and it's beautiful. We actually saw a fight between like a bald eagle and a seagull and a loon, and it was just like out of National Geographic. And I think it's the trip that everybody should do in their lifetime.
Wow, and for those listening, we're cycling through those photographs right now, and they're just astounding.
Let me tell you my Algonquin Park story.
Please tell us.
Of course, he has a story.
Of course, he's been there. It's on the planet. He's been there.
He's been there.
I mean, it's not. It's like 3 hours outside of Toronto. Myself and we'd always take 2 canoes. There was always 4 to 6 of us. Guys, for a number of years, would do a guys camping trip over Canada Day weekend. So we went to Algonquin multiple times. We went to another park called the Kawartha Highlands multiple times, and Algonquin is stunning. Absolutely love it. Yeah. The first time that we were there, the first trip that we did was like this gloriously irresponsible trip. We just had no idea what we were doing. It was just like stupidly dangerous, like idiots canoeing, portaging in places where, they hadn't officially opened those parts of the park. Like Algonquin's massive. Anyway, so we get in the canoe and we start paddling out, and Algonquin is like a whole ton of series of lakes, and basically the outer lakes have motorboats and are pretty accessible. And then you have to portage into the inner lakes, and you can go deeper and deeper.
Portage, for those who are not familiar, means you have to get out of your canoe and carry all your gear, and while carrying that canoe on your head. That is portage.
Yes. And so for those non-Canadians who don't canoe everywhere.
I've never heard the word before.
So the inner lakes, other than the park rangers, don't have any motorboats or anything like that. And it's actually a no flyover zone also. So there's no planes or anything like that to go over top, which is, it's working. And so we get to the inner lake, we get to the first inner lake, and there's like a stream that we're canoeing down. That's like, I don't know, probably 30 feet across, like pretty slim. And all of a sudden we're going, and there's us, there's our 2 canoes, and there was one other group that left around the same time as us. And we stop, and there's a massive moose just in the middle of the water in front of us.
No.
And I mean, moose are big. Okay, first off.
Massive.
And you don't want to get in the moose's way. Like you don't want that thing running at you. So the water wasn't super deep. This moose was standing in the water where we were canoeing through, and we had to canoe past it. And this moose just saunters by, stops right in the middle, just looks at us and just staring at us, no blinking, and just starts pissing. And if you've never seen a moose pee, which I expect many people in Romania who are listening have not. It's like a waterfall. It's just like you dump this like open mouth like 10-liter bottle, just like whoosh.
Oh.
And all that this thing was doing is he was just like, yo, you're in my land now. And he was just marking his territory, and he just waited. I mean, I don't know how long we had this on video. We were laughing so hard.
Oh my god.
And he just this moose just stared at us while it was peeing until it finished. And then it just looked away and just walked across the other side.
He was like, you piss me off, I piss on you.
It was just one of those like this is mine.
Yeah.
You know,
what you gonna do about it?
You should respect this.
For the podcast listeners out there who may have dropped your phone and picked it up to re-engage, you're still on the same podcast. This is still the Online Trainer Show, where we talk about online training. So I know you may if you had any interruptions or phone calls in between the beginning of the podcast today and pick back up on this story, you probably confused. Jonathan, I know we got to move to our topic, but yeah. I've got this box. We talked about this box on the So our brilliant, and for all you other podcast land, you can probably see this box. So our brilliant 16-year-old producer the Doogie Howser of producing podcasts, Amber Reynolds, sent me a cryptic box. A very
Yes.
post 9/11. There could be anthrax in your letter style box. So I haven't opened it. She said to open it on the podcast. So I'm doing my best to cut through the many layers of tape that she put here. There's no Jonathan Goodman tape, by the way.
No, this came straight from Amber. I know what's in it.
You know, and I have no idea. I think.
Do you know what's in it, Carolina?
I do not know what is in there, and I am watching. What's in the box? Is this where I get to go? What's in the box? What's in the box?
This is actually really good. You know what we should do more of on the podcast?
What's that?
We should open boxes and tape in plastic bags right in front of our microphones.
More visual aids, right?
Our two listeners are sharing in the experience of this box opening. Everybody's familiar.
I've got to do play-by-play here.
What's in the box?
Because you can't see this. So I just dug into the podcast box, the brown box, and I've opened it only to reveal wrapping paper that has the Justice League of America on it. For those that don't know, that's the Super Friends.
Adorable.
So we got like a Flash logo, a Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, Aquaman logo, blue paper wrapped with multicolored symbols. The circle symbol, I don't know. I think maybe that's Cyborg. The Cyborg, who is a half man, half.
Open it.
Now I've opened that box to reveal a box that has more superheroes on it. The same Justice League superheroes: Superman, Cyborg. I was right. The caption that she wrote in gold metallic Sharpie ink is, "Not all superheroes wear capes. Some wear Nike hats. Thank you for all that you do. And your 12 and your L2 referral." Oh, I gave a level 2 referral to someone apparently. I don't know what I did. So we're gonna keep this. It says your OTA team. I've revealed it.
Is there another box inside the box?
There's another box.
Oh my gosh.
There's a box inside the box.
Of boxes. There's just a series of boxes.
Wow.
I think I've got a box of boxes from Amber Reynolds and more tape, because God knows we need more tape to speed this podcast along.
Yeah. Who needs a topic? Like, who needs a topic? There's a whole unveiling happening right here, people, and you are witnessing it with us.
And you won't believe what's in this box, folks. It's literally the best thing ever that I've ever seen. Did Amber Reynolds do this, John? Because she is. You guys
I mean, she didn't. Well, define doing. You gotta talk about what it is first.
Okay, so I open that box and I get a full comic strip scene featuring me.
Hold it a bit farther away. Hold it a bit farther away from your light.
Let me push the light away.
Yeah, your ring light is messing up the reflection.
So here we go. We got me as Captain America sitting behind the desk. Keto, Jonathan, Amber, and I'm wearing my Fitness Jones training shirt. We've got another caption. This is the picture of me from the OTA promo. Whenever you see the OTA promo, it's cut off at the shake. They didn't want to show my smoothie for some reason. And here I am as a young Spider-Man patrolling the cities of Charlotte, hanging from a wall. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is the coolest thing ever. So the first caption says, "No, boo-boo, you don't need a detox first. There's no such thing as a detox." We'll talk about this again later. I'm going to send out some information. Amber Reynolds, OTA team.
We're gonna have to include a picture of that in the show notes for this episode.
We'll put this in the show notes.
Onlinetrainer.com/podcast. You can see
this is amazing. It's got Amber Reynolds showing the Wrap It Up B sign.
Yeah.
There's so much here to unpack. I can't eloquently do it. But I look good in tights. We can all attest to that, because at the bottom there, I'm in the Spidey tights, and that body is banging. You guys can't see it, but I've apparently been doing my squats right there because the booty's popping. So Amber Reynolds, OTA team, PTDC, Jonathan Goodman, everybody, thank you for the multiple layers of tape, multiple layers of paper, and 3 boxes in one. That was just amazing. So such a super cool gift. Amber has added value. Wasn't our last podcast released about adding value or something like that?
Wasn't our last one. It was a few podcasts.
Well, one of the last ones. She's added value to my day through that amazing gift. Thank you so much, Jonathan. This is by far, without question, other than the Sega Genesis I got when I was 14 in the 80s, this is the second coolest thing I've ever gotten in my life. I can't wait to hang it up and
Sonic
show
the
it
Hedgehog.
off. Yeah, Sonic.
It's hard to outdo Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic was the man. That's really cool, you guys. So, Catalina, where's your box?
Remember when Sony tried to outdo Sonic the Hedgehog with Crash Bandicoot?
I hate Crash Bandicoot.
Everybody hates Crash Bandicoot.
I have no idea what that is, so that's all I have to say
and
about
your life
that.
is better off for it.
Well, that's why you don't have a box, Catalina. I mean, I'm just saying. You get a car, but hey, thanks so much, guys. So Jonathan, we actually got a topic today. Let's dive in. I don't know what the time is, and we've got no adult supervision here, so it's already off the rails.
That's the real problem.
Yeah.
It's Amber's fault. She's gone.
Who knows what's
take
going
a
to happen?
holiday in August.
Yeah.
All right. So how to scale. I'm going to play Amber for a bit. I'm that smart 16-year-old. How to scale when you have 5 to 10 clients. Take it away, Jonathan.
Oh, this is me that has to take it away?
Yeah. This is on you.
Yes.
Like, we don't know what's going on.
5 clients for most people is the start. So I like saying, I mean, you don't really scale after 5 clients. I would say you start to scale after 20 or 30 clients.
Mm-hmm.
But 5 clients is the start. And the thing is, like, I look at online training as the next step, right? It's often not the final step in your journey. Not many people are going to retire as online trainers, but it's often the next step where if you're maybe in a situation that you don't like, whether you work in the fitness industry or not work in the fitness industry, you're in a situation you're not happy in at your job, online training is a great way for you to begin to exit that situation. Or if you're in the fitness industry and you just think that you could do more and get more and have more and achieve more, then online training is a great way for you to take that next step in your career and continue to rise up as well. But it always starts with what I say is 5 clients, which is why, we built the Founding Client Challenge. Okay, get your first 1 to 5 clients in the next 7 days.
Yeah.
Founding Client Challenge. OTA, the same thing. We have a 90-day guarantee where you're going to make your first $1,000 extra with online training or your money back. That's based off of 5 clients at $200 a month. Mm-hmm. So it's always 5 clients. And the reason for that is quite simple, is that if you look at data in the fitness industry, it shows without question that 5 is the magic number. Basically in gyms as well. If a trainer gets 5 clients in the gym, odds that they will be successful go up exponentially. Odds that they will stay in the fitness industry, that they'll stay working for the gym, go way up. Software systems have shown this as well. All of the different software programs like PT Distinction show this as well, where once you get 5 clients on their platform, the odds that you're going to stay using that platform go way, way up. And of course, I mean, if you're using that platform, you're successful, right? Mm-hmm. You don't use software if you don't have any clients. And so software companies really want you to get clients because then you make more money for them and everybody wins. And so it always starts with 5. So your first step is to get 5. And then where do you go from there, right? So you get those 5 clients kind of however you can get those 5 clients. You probably need to pound the pavement a bit. But moving on from that point, what you really need to start doing is you need to not lose your momentum. And that's what we find happens a lot. People have a lot of momentum when they're starting a program like the Online Trainer Academy, where they kind of go into it guns a-blazing, and then they stop. And the systems that we teach you and the strategies that we build with you when you're in that program are ones that actually build momentum and collect over time, to the point where it's almost like a big stone wheel. It takes a lot of effort to get going. A lot of the other systems that you might see promoted out there where you're like constantly DMing people and that kind of thing, it's not that they don't work, it's that what do you do once you pass the initial people who are in your network? Well, you're kind of finished. And so what we teach is a system that as long as you keep with it, you're continuing to build new connections. You're continuing to build out your network purposefully, and you're gaining new people to talk to that are ideal for your program, while at the same time broadcasting and promoting the success of your existing clients, right? Generating more and more interest as you go. So the next step, once you have that, is to actually build a bit of a conversion process into your system. A lot of the times when we start, we don't really have that. how are you actually going to take people from being interested to getting them to pull that trigger to sign up? That's the step. That's the thing that you need to build in. I actually got an interesting message. I shared a couple screenshots of some of our Online Trainer Academy students last week, I think in my Instagram stories. I don't remember where I shared them. I think it was Instagram stories, because that's what this conversation happened. And it was like 5 or 6 people who are at anywhere from like $8,000 to $50,000 a month. And somebody messaged and he says, hey, it was Lyndon. Actually, I'm okay using his name because he's a good dude and I'm sure he'd be cool with it. Lyndon basically said, you know, what do you actually think that a lot of trainers are closer to this point than they think? If that makes sense. Like, do you feel like a lot of people are kind of on that precipice where they could achieve these numbers of, you know, $20,000 months, $30,000 months consistently? And my answer was unequivocally yes. What is missing? A lot of trainers out there have been doing good work, you know, pretty good work to good work for long enough and have made impactful changes with enough people and have put out enough content that actually what they're missing is not more content. What they're missing is they're simply not good enough at that conversion mechanism. And that's actually what we do most of the time with people in level 2 of the Online Trainer Academy, because most people when they enter in level 1, they're simply not ready for it yet. You know, so level 1, we absolutely teach you how to convert, but we kind of put that on steroids in level 2. And all that it is just being able to have a conversation with somebody and listen to them better and deal with objections better and feel confident enough also to push them. What was the conversation? I think it was James posted his conversation in our OTA 2 group last week with a client who said that they were interested and then said that, oh, but I can't start until next week. And he actually responded back to them and he said, do you think this is, I can't remember exactly what it was, but this is one of the things that we train you for. The objections is like, you got to feel it out, but he challenged them on it. He said, do you think that you're putting this off because you don't believe in yourself?
Right.
Wow.
You know, like you got to have confidence to say that to somebody, right?
Yeah.
You can't, if you're a brand new trainer, you can't say that. And and you know, this was farther on in the conversation with that person. So he knew that they had a bit of a history in pushing stuff off. Right. And he kind of anticipated that might be. So my point with this is you absolutely need to get better. And of course, this person then signed up for the premium program with him for, I don't remember how much it was, $1,100, $1,200 or something like that.
Right.
And
paid off.
And he wouldn't have gotten the sale because if he let this person go for a week,
they find a gazillion reasons to talk themselves out.
A gazillion reasons, they're gone. I mean, the golden rule of selling online training is you get that payment on the phone right away. If you let them walk, if you send them a link to pay versus taking their payment on the phone, the odds that you will actually make that sale go down considerably.
Right.
And then you get frustrated because you're like, oh, they said they were interested and you got excited or whatever it is because you were going to get a new client, you were going to help them and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah. And then you get frustrated and you're like, people aren't willing to invest in their fitness. It's like, well, no, you just need to get better at that conversion event. So the key to scaling beyond 5-10 clients is actually not like you can handle that still yourself. It's not delegation. It's not technology. It's none of that. It is improving your ability to convert. I wouldn't even say sell. I would just say convert, improving your ability to take the payment from people that are interested in what you're doing. Then once you get to 25, 30, then you get into building a business around you, right? Where you have potentially coaches working for you, for sure, some sort of delegated work to virtual assistants, admins, whatever.
Jonathan, if I may interject, and I hope I'm not interrupting your thought, because
I was done.
Okay, because that's it. You're tapped out. Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Online Trainer But Keto and I both went through OTA too. We were the same group, right, Keto? Yeah, we were the beta group. Yeah, so
you guys were the first ever group.
We were in the first ever group.
Yes.
So I know for me, what you're talking about sort of, really resonates about building that confidence. It's, and I usually refer back to strength training because as trainers, it's something that we understand. I think it's easier to comprehend if we talk about business in terms of strength training, but it's just really doing the reps, right? You have to get to a certain point where you're advanced enough for it. But Keto, I'll ask you this question, but I'll give you my thoughts. For me, it was just about asking for more and doing the repetitions of that. It became less and less of an anxiety-ridden conversation for me. In speaking in Jonathan's point about you got to have some confidence to say something like, well, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? And how does that make you feel? Do you feel lonely and like you're not visible as a woman in the United States over 35? Like, it takes a lot of guts to have that conversation. What's your experience there, Keto?
So very much like yours as well, because you do build a confidence. I also feel that when we're new trainers, we are so willing to put up with being underpaid and overworked because there's precisely that lack of confidence, and we just want a client. Like, I'll give it to you for free. Like, just please sign up and I'll do everything, right? Like, there's like this, desperation in our voice and in our techniques and everything. And as we gain confidence, that kind of like tapers off and we start stepping into our power as trainers who have knowledge, who have put in the time to gain expertise and everything. And so that the way that I know that for me, it was a shift in the way that I perceive myself as a professional, because now I no longer fear the no. I know I'm going to get no's, and that's fine, because there are some no's that are, legitimately of people that just are not a good fit for me. And that's okay. I no longer fear it. Whereas before, a no used to be crushing. It was devastating. It hits you, in your self-confidence. Not anymore. It's like, it's fine. I'm not for everyone. Not everyone is for me. And I know how to get my yeses through repetition. Right? It's part of numbers game, but it's very much also a technique game. And that's where, for me, OTA 2 came in polishing that technique of how to have those conversations.
So Jonathan, what you're saying is, if you're saying anything at all, what you're saying is that you can't be sure. What you're saying is like, there's not a broad difference between skill sets of the science technique of training amongst trainers. No. The distinction is, the PT distinction is between belief systems.
I just got that.
There you go, Tim.
That's good.
Is between the belief systems. That's what you're saying. And that's why you're saying that most coaches are right on that, you said, precipice.
They're right on that precipice. Yeah, they're right on that precipice, man. The amount of people that have the ability to do really well in this industry versus compared to the amount of people who really do really well is actually kind of disturbing. And that's why a number of years ago, I decided to almost pivot my business, the Personal Trainer Development Center, into talking a lot more about the business and the marketing. It's actually easier for me when I'm working with other trainers and trying to help them to sell them on fitness stuff, to sell them on nutrition stuff, because it is way easier to sell somebody something that they're already good at. And this is why trainers are sitting here and they're taking their 7th fitness certification before they've read a single book about business. Because it's easier and more comfortable to do things you're good at. But it's not what you actually need. And I think a lot of people secretly know that. So there's a lot of fitness professionals out there that are at that point where a couple moves in the right direction could pay really, really big dividends.
Yes.
And they're just fighting it. They're fighting it. And maybe they'll commit a little bit. And then, it's like the amount of people, it's like they sign up for OTA and they do it for a week and then they'll go sign up for something else that's like another strength conditioning certification. It's like, you don't need that. You're good enough at that for now. Get better, 100% get better, always get better. But you're good enough at that for now. But now you're going to stop working on the stuff that's actually important, that's actually going to allow you to make better use of that other fitness knowledge that you have, nutrition knowledge that you have, and work with more people and impact more people, because you're unwilling to get seriously uncomfortable in that one area. And what's also, I think, notable and important to say is it's hard to go deep with people when you're starting to train them, especially as you're selling to them. But if you learn how to do it in a very compassionate way, think about how much better the training is going to be. Think about how much stronger the relationship is going to be, how much more impactful it's going to be if you start from that place of radical honesty and why are you really doing this and what really matters to you, that you're going to get out from questions like that one, which is like, they're not easy conversations to have. And the honest truth is the reason that person has probably not been successful in the past has because nobody has been willing to go deep and be honest with them. You know, they've tried a fitness routine before. They've tried a diet before. I can almost guarantee you they have not been successful with those things because whoever was coaching them was not willing to go deep and get dirty and get messy with it.
Yeah. And that's a fear. That's a fear on its own, right? Because we feel inadequate into having serious conversations if we're not in the habit of it, if we're not equipped. Even in our family where we grow up, how our parents taught us to have conversations on serious topics. Like, we all have different ideas about what is allowed or permitted or suitable in a difficult conversation. So that's a skill set to develop because it actually empowers you to do business better and to serve your clients better, to help more people more efficiently. I want to channel our wonderful Amber Reynolds for a second here, because to what Jonathan was saying, she actually posted a quote by James Clear that I know, Ren, it hit you in all, right? Because you commented on it and I did too. It's by James Clear, and it says, regarding the people who go and get another certification and all this kind of stuff, James Clear says, if you do not like your results in a particular area, it is rarely your intellect that deserves the blame, but rather where you have directed your intellect. Results are purchased by how you spend your attention.
Absolutely.
So again, if you want to increase your business, if you want to increase your revenue, focus on that, learn about that, practice that, put the attention there.
Absolutely. You know, one of the shocking things, and we'll be wrapping up here soon. I'm watching the clock very closely. One of the most interesting things for me about, you know, in terms of scaling is that first, Jonathan's really not talking about, he's really talking about scaling your intent is what I'm understanding from you, Jonathan. Like, you're not a particular thing, not a click funnel, not scaling your email.
Well, we all know how much I dislike ClickFunnels, so I'm definitely not talking about that.
I bring those up just so I can hear you talk about how you don't like them.
Such a terrible software.
It's a terrible thing.
So expensive.
They won't be sponsoring us in 2021. That's for sure.
I wouldn't even take their money.
He wouldn't let them. You can't pay me enough, ClickFunnels. So, my point is, you're not even speaking about technical processes. You know, you're talking about really scaling your intent as a person who deals with people. One of the shocking things for me, maybe not for you, Catalina, because you're pretty much at the head of our feelings department here, probably the more empathetic of the three. But I'm shocked personally as a man by the things that are shared with me on our second, level 2 call. I am shocked at how, when you get a person to expose themselves in transparency, I have heard, I work specifically almost with moms over 30. I have heard things that I never thought I'd hear from basically a stranger, over a phone call. And it sort of speaks to the fact that, to Jonathan's fact, people just aren't coaches, professional coaches seem to shy away from that. And it's really the fact that most people don't have the tolerance for the deep discomfort involved in connecting with a potential client. Has that been the case for you, Keto? Like, do you notice that you have very in-depth conversations with people you just don't really know that well yet?
Absolutely. It happens often. And I am grateful every time that it happens, because that is how you know that person is legitimately allowing you in, and you now have like a legitimate power to help them create the change they've been seeking. Now you're in it together. Now you're a team. You're both invested. Once a person has shared some of the most troubling or complicated parts of their life, it's really difficult to be okay with letting them down.
And Jonathan, that's a tremendous function of the level 2 certification for OTA. Am I correct in that statement? Digging deep.
I mean, I talked about that Nick Night the Fire in 2011.
You did. I have that.
I mean, he's been doing this for years.
But I mean, you gotta, like, what's your emotional reason for taking action? If you don't know that, if you're not at one with that, if you don't build it into your plan, you're gonna have a very hard time eliciting action, long-term change. It's just the way it is. The problem that you're trying to help people solve, the transformation that you're trying to help them make, is something that they've tried and failed doing before. I can almost guarantee you on that. And so how are you different? Why are you different? You can give them a little bit better program. Nah, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference.
Right.
You can get in, man, you can get into the shit a little bit with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's it.
I mean, we know things about these people that their families and therapists don't know, for God's sakes. I mean, this was new for me going through OTA 2. Like, I had no skill for this, through OTA 1. I had a great skill for processes, which I guess is, sort of the functionality of the level 1 certification to build your great processes. And then off of that foundation, you springboard into, really not letting, here's what's required for those. And this, the views I'm about to express are no way the views of the other co-hosts, PTDC, OTA. You can't let a potential client get away with their surface level bullshit. You just can't do it.
It's right there.
This is what you'll do as an inexperienced coach, like I was considering up until April of this year. They say, oh, it's not so bad. Well, it doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I could lose a little bit here or there. It's not so, sometimes I can wear my clothes, sometimes I can't. Like, that's surface level BS, let me tell you. When you dig into those questions, say you and your husband are going out on a Friday and, you can't find anything to wear. Like, how does that feel? How do you feel? Do you feel like there's a lack of adequacy, with your partner because he's fit and is that, et cetera, et cetera? Or on the male side, do you feel like, do people make comments about, your spouse being in incredible shape like she is, and you're like, how does that feel? It feels lonesome. Like, well, you get to the Jonathan's giving me a wrap it up B sign. I'm so proud of you, Jonathan. Oh my gosh!
I gotta go. I got another podcast. So
he's mature. So
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna bump off. You do the show notes. Actually, no, I can't bump off. I can't bump off. Never mind. Do the show notes fast.
All right. So if you want to get the show notes, go to onlinetrainer.com/onlinetrainer.com/podcast. Get the show notes. Leave us a message. We'll put the picture that I got up today on the show notes. Somebody will. Amber's not here. Keto, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Jonathan, Amber Reynolds, you got me good. PTDC, Jonathan Goodman, thank you so much for the spectacular gift. We'll see you on episode, whatever the number was today, +1, next time. I didn't count that. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in on Online Trainer Show. Jingle.
Bye.
Jingle, jingle.
This is the Online Trainer Show. Trainer Show. Trainer Show. This is the Online Trainer Show. We shouldn't have a podcast.